everybody, this is Zach over at The Edge Pro. Today we're going to be walking through changing the main wear part on your KM Cordless. We've been getting a lot of questions lately, so we wanted to put together a little video here to show you how to do that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our clipper and we're going to remove our blade, and we can set that aside so we're just dealing with our tool here. This is your hinge, which is where your blade is mounted. And we're going to remove this assembly first. What you have in here are two screws. In this case it uses a T10. You can use a screwdriver or a drill. You're just going to turn the power down so you don't strip anything out. And we're just going to take these out real quick. And we're going to set that aside. Now that we have that off, on the back side of your clipper you have three housing screws. These are going to be a number 1 or number 0 Phillips. I happen to have mine in a drill. And we're just going to take these three screws out real quick. Obviously when doing this we want to make sure and keep track of all of our parts so that we don't lose anything. Alright, now that we have our housing off, we can set that aside as well. And one of the important things to note is your hanger bail will fall out, so just make sure you keep track of that and set it aside. Now our lever is kind of on the bottom side here, so we're actually going to lift up your motor assembly, which then has your lever on the back side. For that, you're just kind of going to wiggle it off of the post there until it slides off, and that's your lever. And then when you have your new one, you just take that and you're going to put the bend towards the post and the flat part, and you're just going to slide that back on. And as you do, your cam on your motor should be in about the right place. And then we're going to slide this back into our housing. This post is going to go into this hole right here. There's kind of a little rubber piece, you want to make sure that's still there. And we're going to slide it down and back into place. And it'll kind of pop up a little on you, and as we put the housing back together, that'll help clamp it down. We're going to make sure that all of our other pieces are back where they're supposed to be. On this battery assembly, you'll see that there's some wires and whatnot. You're going to make sure that those are all tucked in so they don't get caught in your housing as we try and reassemble it. Now that we have all those pieces laid back, we're going to take our other housing piece. We're going to put our hanger bail there and kind of just hold it in there as we slide this back over the top. And it'll kind of take a little bit to kind of squeeze it together. Some of the parts, it is a tight fit to make sure that nothing vibrates, so you'll just want to clamp it together in your hand. Now we're going to take our housing screws and we're going to slide those back in here, and then we can take our drill. If you're using a drill, you just want to get them to where they're snug. You don't want to put a lot of pressure to them. And then I just kind of give a little twist at the end just to tighten them in there. Sometimes this is easier to do with an actual screwdriver compared to the drill. We've got our housing screws back in. They're snug and tight. Maybe that front one needs a little more. Just like that. And we're just double checking that our housing is fully together, that there isn't any gaps. A lot of times you might see that there's a gap in this line right here, and that means one end or the other isn't quite all the way together. Now we take our hinge, and I have my screws still in there, and we just kind of set that down and line up our screws. Alright, and then we're going to tighten these down. Again, we're going to put these in, and then right as they get tight, then we're just going to give it a little more twist so that it's snug. But again, it's a plastic housing, so if we really just crank down on there, we have the tendency to actually strip out the threading in the hole, and now your hinge isn't going to be tight and it's going to rattle and potentially fall off. So again, right as we get it tight, and just give it a little bit more, and there we have it. The last thing you're going to do is just turn it on. And just make sure that there's no extra vibration, no parts are missing. Now we can go ahead and take our blade, snap it on. There you go. This is something we should be doing if you're full-time grooming once a month at least, just to make sure that that's in good working order. And then it all depends on your tool. Anytime you're noticing like there's streaking in the coat, or you're having problems where you just don't feel like it's cutting as well, number one thing that needs to change is going to be that drive assembly. So I really hope that was a helpful video. If you liked it and you want to see more like it, make sure you like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see more content like it. Thanks guys.